What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more The Cure, and we're returning to Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, 1987. And the next tune in the playlist is All I Want. There's an Echo and the Bunnymen song by this name. There's some other songs, like U2 has a song which has all of this phrase and more in it. There's an Offspring song by this name. So yeah, it's a phrase that I've thought about in musical context before. It does speak to some singularity of desire or purpose, and in that regard, it seemingly relates to a mindset with a mind to behavior or a prescriptive approach to something. Now, of course, that could be obsessional, or that could be at the expense of other aspects or other scenarios that are important on some level. So it could be an untenable or less than fully appropriate fixation, but yes, the sentiment seems pretty clear. Now, unlike the U2 song, we don't know All I Want Is You or something like that. So I would imagine it is still functioning in that way and it relates to another person, but of course it could be more self-directed. And knowing Robert's lyrics, it could be less than psychologically sound, or it could be an indication of the struggle or peril of the individual, not necessarily having a clear goal in mind in a more positive way. So I'll try to pick up what I can. This is The Cure. The tune is All I Want, and it's from their 1987 album Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. funny end. But yeah, an intense song, and I feel like it is doing something sonically slash vocally that speaks to the sentiment, the intensity of feeling the narrator's describing, meaning it is singularly focused, and though there are some different lines, the back half of the tune is pretty much just him repeating the same couple lines again and again and again, which feels like, again, it is all he wants, to the point where everything else is being blurred out and pushed to the side, and the focus is bordering on, dangerous fixation. I do think he is speaking of a physical desire to be with this other person again, which sounds like there's been a connection already. But yeah, it sounds like there's almost this passionate intensity to the point of it being maybe a bit unhealthy. At the very least, he's saying something, I want to hold you like a doll, was it? There was a moment where I was like, it's not dog, is it? But I think it's doll, which is not normally what you'd say about someone that you have a well-rounded emotional and intimate connection with, because it sounds more like possessional and like you're objectifying the other person as this cute or beautiful object, but one that you hold as if it is yours, like it's almost a lifeless thing. And the way he said he's staring like an animal tonight, like that sounds again like almost predatory, not necessarily in a dangerous way, but in a way where he has this carnal desire and he's almost out of control. So it does sound like even the narrator is a bit aware that he's maybe pushing the boundary of what is normal or desirable, but it's all he wants. It's what he's thinking about, what he's focused on. And Robert's vocals do seem at multiple points like, he's going a bit off the rails, or he's so obsessional about this that he's, a bit wild in his delivery. So I think sonically, compositionally, and vocally, it conveys the idea of a singular focus and obsession quite well. And I love, one aspect I've come to expect in a lot of Cure songs is a nice blending of edgy and atmospheric guitar and bass guitar lines. We definitely get that here. We have those long kind of organ style chords, like a real electric organ. There's a sequence of chords that just keeps running back and back again. And then there's this shorter, not quite true piano, but shorter melodic flourish, higher in the track, which is a bit more embedded or buried in the larger sonic atmosphere, and that was a nice touch too. So again, it has this natural band meets a bit of a keyboard sound, a bit of a synth rock sound, and while it's not overly heavy or dark like some of the previous songs and albums we've heard from them, this one does have a bit of a dark tension to it. So yeah, just a really cool tune, and one that I think is well crafted and composed on a conceptual level. So again, these guys never cease to amaze me. Robert is an amazing singer, and the more and more I hear them, it's could you ever not recognize his voice? It's some singers, they do some different things, and there's almost some times where you're like, oh wow, it sounds almost, is that really him? But I don't think you'd ever say that about Robert. His voice is just completely identifiable and unique to him. So yes, another top tune from The Cure. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Peace.